Hope knows no barriers.
Hello and welcome to DXERS Diary, your 5-minute weekly DX digest, produced and presented for Transworld Radio by your friend ARUNKUMAR from Chennai in India. KTWR has been brought to every Sunday in 15205 kHz from 1500 hours Coordinated Universal Time as part of its DRM block. As radio hobbies, DXERS and shortwave radio listeners, you all know the role of sunspot number, SFI forecast, a index plays in radio broadcasting and listening. Taking into consideration, we have been providing information about these parameters every week with the hope that it would be useful for all of you. The sunspot number this week is 7. SFI forecast ranges from 112 to 116. A index to 18. Every week, we have been broadcasting information about the history of radio stations and radio broadcasting across the world. And this week, we have information about radio broadcasting in Singapore. According to information available online, radio broadcasting in Singapore started in 1936, operating from a government building at Empress Place, the first city studio. In 1942, during the Japanese occupation, the radio station was operated by Japanese as Sionan Oso Kyoku, and in 1946. With the end of World War II, the British once again assumed control and established Radio Malaya Singapore and the Federation of Malaya. In 1949, the cable radio service rediffusion was launched and the radio station moved to Caldecott Hill, its new location. Programs are channeled by cable to Jurong from where they were transmitted. With the independence of the Federation of Malaya in 1957, a new radio station, Radio Singapore, was launched. Operating on the medium and shortwave bands, it offered 4 channels with programs in English, Malay, Tamil, and 7 Chinese dialects. The name of the station was changed to Radio Malaysia in 1963. Subsequently, in 1965, the name of the station was once again changed to Television Singapore, RTS. Later in 1967, RTS started its FM services, FM 90.5, FM 94.2, FM 95.8 and FM 96.8. The name of the radio station in Singapore kept changing, and in 1980 it was once again renamed the Singapore Broadcasting Corporation, SBC. With the demand for programming increased among listeners, broadcasting hours increased from 8 to 18 every day. The 5 stations were renamed Radio 1 English, Radio 2 Broadcast Malay, Radio had Mandarin, Radio 4 had Tamil, and Radio 5 had classical music in 1982. In 2001, MediaCorp Radio, MCR, Singapore Press Holdings launched KRZ 91.3 and UFM 100.3. This is the journey of radio broadcasting in Singapore. There are a lot of happenings in radio stations across the world, and we give you the latest every week. This week, we have information about the British Broadcasting Corporation, BBC. Commercial radio beats BBC in summer numbers for the first time since 1990s, reports The Guardian. According to a news item published in The Guardian, radio fans spent more time listening to commercial stations than British Broadcasting Corporation for the first part of the summer for the first time since the 1990s. The BBC's portfolio of radio stations, from Radio 1 to Radio 6, Music and Asia Network, accounted for 48.1% of the almost 1 billion hours of total radio listened to by UK audiences in the 3 months to 26 June. Radio fans spent more time listening to commercial radio than BBC in the 3 months to the end of June. The last time the radio industry led to the BBC in terms of share listening hours was in 1999, according to figures from radio industry measurement body, Rajar, says The Guardian. Friends, we have come to the end of the program now. As in the past, I request you to send your listeners' logs, backscans, reception reports, views, and opinion about the program to dxersdiary@gmail.com. Please keep it by sending your reception reports regularly, and we will acknowledge your reception reports as early as possible with a QSL card. This is your friend saying bye. 73. Let's meet next week. Bye-bye.